So the interaction with new materials says a car dealership pays its salespeople on commission. For every car that they sell, they earn 2.5% of the cost of the car before tax. Personal property tax for vehicles is 4.25%. If a salesperson sells a Honda CR-V for $28,700, how much will the car be with tax, and how much will the salesperson make on commission? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to annotate, because our key point says that the context determines whether to find a percent change or a percent of in these word problems. Now, the difference between the two is that a percent change is adding or subtracting from our total number, and a percent of is we're just finding a chunk of that total number. We're not adding or subtracting anything on. So let's take a look at what it says about commission first. In the second sentence, it says for every car they sell, they earn 2.5% of the cost of the car before tax. So if we're trying to find 2.5% of the cost of the car, are we adding or subtracting anything onto it? No, we're just trying to find 2.5% of it. So this is going to be a percent of. Now let's take a look at the second, or the sentence next to it, I'm sorry. It says personal property tax for vehicles is 4.25%. Now in general, if you get tax on something, if you go to the store and you pay for something and they have to put tax on it, you're adding tax onto that. So this is a percent change. Great, so we just used our key point right there. What we're going to do next is there's a lot that we have to do, so let's make a plan to tackle this problem. Let's see. So also I'm going to circle the total so we have it. Our plan. What are the two things we have to figure out? The questions are how much will the car be with tax and how much will the salesperson make on commission? So we know we need to figure out the car with tax. We said it's a percent change. What percent are we adding onto it? 4.25%. So we're going to find the percent change. I'm going to use a triangle that symbolizes change, or delta symbolizes change. Find the percent change with 4.25% tax, and then we add tax, so we know we're adding that. And then 2, it looks like we have to find the commission of the salesperson, and we said that's percent of. So find 2.5% of the car. Oops, there we go. All right, so step 1. Since we're finding a percent change, you know what we're going to do? We're going to draw a double number line, because this is going to help us a lot. Although it doesn't say it, I know that my criteria for success always has that in it when we're doing these problems. So I'm going to draw one to help me. And of course we're labeling the $0 and the 0%. We have, I'll use my blue color again, percents here and numbers here. And then we want to label 100%. And how much are we adding for the percent change? How much are we adding onto it? We're adding 4.25%. So I'm going to put my 4.25% added up here, which would give me 104.25%. And we don't know what the cost of the car is with that tax. So that's our X. We know what the original cost is. That's $28,700. just like so. And now I can definitely use my quantity equals percent as a decimal times the whole formula. Quantity equals percent decimal times our whole. And if we can annotate that on our number line, it makes it even easier for us. So we know this is our whole, we know this is our quantity, and this is the percentage now that we're working with. So I'm going to fill in x equals our decimal. Look, I have to move this decimal point over 2. It would be 1.0425 times our whole. That is 28,700. And unfortunately, I don't know that right off the top of my head. Hopefully one day you are better at math than I am and you will know it off the top of your head. My calculator says that it's $29,919.75. So that's how much the car will be with tax. That's step 1. Step 2. Step 2, it says that we need to find 2.5% of the car. And an easy way to find 2.5% of the car is just by annotating our wording even. I can see this 2.5% of the car. We know that of is multiplication. So why don't we just go ahead and do that? Let's set x equal to 2.5%. We need to change to a decimal. Be 0.025 times 28,700. And the reason I'm using the original is because if you look up at the problem, it says 2.5% of the cost of the car before tax. It's the original cost. Okay, we need to look very closely at the wording for all of this. And now, again, I don't really know off the top of my head what this is, so I'm going to plug in 0.025 times 28,700. And we get 717.5, and in dollars that's 50 cents. And there we go. Our key point helped us determine if we were going to add on to the total or just find a little chunk of it. And let's go through the CFS so that we can do this successfully every single time. I'm going to write it down here. I have all this room. For CFS, number 1, what did we do first? We annotated. Annotate for percent change. Again, I'm using that triangle for change, and or percent of. And I'm going to even write a note under here. You can still annotate for the quantity, the whole, and the percent as a decimal, especially because in the criteria for success number 2, you need to draw a double number line. You can do that on there. Draw a double number line to represent it. The third thing that we have to do is we need to write our percent equation, which is right up here. I'll put a number 3 next to it. Write percent equation, which is just the quantity equals the percent as a decimal times the whole. And we substitute. Now number 4, we have to calculate, or we have to show our calculations, because a lot of these problems are multi-step. So for example, this is one calculation, or one part of it. This is the second part of it. We need to show those calculations. And then number 5, we need to answer this statement. We need to answer using a statement. Answer using a statement. So we actually didn't do that. Let's go back really quickly. Answer using a statement. So it says, how much will the car be with a tax? The car will be $29,919.75 with tax. And the other one, it says, how much will the salesperson make on commission? The salesperson will make $717.50. And that's it, so that you can do it right every single time.